Today, if you could not tell by what I'm wearing, I'm going to be talking about love in its purest forms. And this always annoyed me. Even though they're right, it annoyed me when I did not see the red flags that I do believe I would have seen now. Welcome in, my dear, lovely friends. Thank you for being here. My name is Andrea Gal, and this is Her Radiant Life, living a life of abundance and radiance and wholeness and healing, personal growth, all of those wonderful things. It's like a heart-to-heart, fireside, cozy chat where I get to share some of the things I've been through and share some of the wisdom I've learned over the years. If you would like to subscribe, I would absolutely love to have you here as part of my bubble of sisterhood. So please subscribe if you have not yet. Today, if you could not tell by what I'm wearing, I'm going to be talking about love in its purest forms and some things to watch out for with love. Now, I am not currently married. I was married for a short time in my late 20s and early 30s, and it was very short-lived. My husband left after a year and a half of our marriage, and there are some pitfalls that I should have seen, but because I was coming out of the trauma of losing my mom and dad a year before I met him, I did not see the red flags that I do believe I would have seen now. Anxious, controlling, and unhealed tendencies that were extremely subtle and hard to notice, but even more so difficult to pinpoint because I was just coming out of trauma. The first point I want to make is to prepare for what you're praying for. Now, this can apply to literally anything in life, but I'm going to apply it today to love. Sometimes we think we can just date around as much as we want and jump from person to person to find the right one, but that isn't preparation. We need to prepare in a lot of ways, like, first of all, in our hearts, in our emotional, spiritual, physical environment, all of it. You want to be ready for that amazing person that you're bringing in, for that amazing person that you're hoping and praying for. Sometimes I actually think, okay, I picture the man that I want. I've had this thought over several years. If he walked into my life right this second, am I actually ready? Am I ready emotionally? Am I ready spiritually for a man who's a high caliber spiritually and very in tune with God? Am I ready physically? Am I at my best? That's part of the reason that I've been losing weight. It's ultimately for me, but I also want to be prepared to be the best version of myself for my partner. Healthy, vibrant, full of life and energy. It's really not about looks. And then is my environment? What about my finances? All of these things are preparation. We just want to get the prize before we've done any of the work. And the problem with that is then we attract in something that's not the level that we actually want, because that's what we're aligning with at a lower vibration. We want things before we're ready, but let's think about a father, like Father God, but let's think about a father who is here on earth. His kid may want their license and a car, but if that child is 8 or 9 years old and not ready, not only legally, but physically, emotionally, mentally ready to drive a car, then even though it's a good gift, even though the father has every intention of helping that child get their license and get a car when they're ready, he's not going to do it when they're 8 or 9 years old because they're not at the right place. So I feel like that is very similar to the things that we want in life, and most specifically today in love and attracting a partner. If you're not ready for that level of a person or that person that God actually has for you, then he's not going to give it to you yet. Timing is everything. Timing is everything. And in that waiting time, work on yourself, prepare for what you're praying for. Now, for a long time, I did a lot of online dating for many, many years, and it was a whirlwind of not greatness. It really wasn't. I'm not against online dating, but I do think it has to be done with intention. Otherwise, you're going to be pulled and pushed to and fro in a lot of emotional craziness. At the same time, I wasn't really preparing for a husband. I wasn't creating myself to be wifey material. Now I actually do not online date. I don't have any online profiles. I have gotten rid of that. This is my own journey. I am not telling you what to do in this way, but I am saying that in it, while you're waiting for the right person to come into your life, prepare. Okay, I want to tell you this quote from Bob Proctor. Now, you may be on the side of you believe in the law of attraction and things like that. I believe God put that into place, to be honest with you. Or you might be along the lines of faith. And guess what? I have proof from both places that this is true. Okay, so from Bob Proctor, who was about the law of attraction and attracting things into your life that you want, he said, this is how you attract the person you want into your life. First, he was talking about writing it down. He said, this is my man, or this is my woman, or whatever. And then you write down the qualities and the attributes that you want in the person you want to be with. And so do that. I have done this. I have it in 2 places, actually. I have it 3 places. I have it in a beautiful goal book, which at some point I will actually be going through that to show you. I have it in a audio goal and dream voice note that I recorded in my own voice. Great thing. To be honest, I used to listen to it every single time I went for a walk. It really reprogrammed my mind for what I'm looking for in a husband and what I want. And it actually made me able to see very specifically and very quickly when I meet someone if they embody those attributes, because it's so clear in my mind. And then the third thing I have is what is called a mind movie. It's basically just putting your dreams and goals into a movie. I did it on Canva. Again, I'll show it to you in the future. And playing that and watching that so that it's ingrained in your spirit and that you can move towards that and then align with it. To go on with Bob Proctor, he said, then mentally you start to live with this person. You go for a walk with them, talk to them, have dinner with them. You're putting yourself in that vibration. He goes on to say, it seems crazy to people, which you might even think this is crazy, but you can only attract to you what you're in harmonious vibration with. If you keep doing this, you'll attract what you're in harmony with. Now let's talk about what the Bible says. The Bible echoes the same thing. Prepare for what you're praying for. Enlarge the place of your tent. Stretch your tent curtains wide. Do not hold back. Lengthen your cords. Strengthen your stakes. Prepare before the blessing arrives. You're preparing the space. You're preparing your heart. You're strengthening yourself. Make room. Stretch. Don't hold back. Have faith that God is going to fulfill the place that you have prepared for that person. And he will be faithful to do that. The Bible also says in Habakkuk 2:2-3, write the vision. That goes back to the whole goal book, the mind movie, all of that I just talked about. Make it plain on tablets, for the vision awaits its appointed time. If it seems slow, wait for it. It will surely come. It will not delay. This is a mixture of vision, preparation, and faith. You have the vision, you write it down, you're clear on it, you review it every day, you start to embody it, see it clearly, and then you wait and you have faith that God is going to bring it in the right time into your life. And I am saying this from a place of being single for a very long time. I dated in there, but I'm talking about like a serious relationship where you bring them home to your family at Christmas and they're part of your life, not just going out on casual dates. So I can say this not from a place of, and this always annoyed me, even though they're right, it annoyed me when women who got married at 20 were like, just have faith, just wait, it'll come. I'm like, dude, I'm like 43. How are you telling me? Even though, again, they are right. But let me just tell you from someone who has waited a long time, but I have 100% full faith that he's coming soon because I've been doing the preparation and my tent is ready for him to walk into. There are different ways you can prepare. Obviously, there are things like I used to have, and I'm just being humbly honest here, a lot of guys that I could text at any time I wanted to and flirt and get that like dopamine hit of flirtation. And I had no intention of ever having a serious relationship with them in the future, and nor did they with me. That at least was honest between us, but needing that validation from men by texting them and having flirty conversations and things like that is not preparing for a future husband. I think it really comes down to identity. If you identify as a wifey, wifey mode enabled, then that's the preparation. That's where you draw that in because you are already acting like his wife. So when he sees that, he's going to be drawn to that. He's like, that's wife material because you already are. Let me give you a few more examples because one of them was that cutting out the noise of conversations and relationships that did not align with me being a wife. Another one I've heard people do is they literally make room, space in their bedrooms, in their drawers, their dressers, their closets for when a man would come into their life. I also do things like they're kind of in faith. I have gone recently, actually, to a wedding dress store and tried on a wedding dress. Here's the picture of me. I used AI for the background. Sometimes when I'm home alone, I wear this ring on my ring wedding finger. It may sound weird, but when I do that, I feel like I'm a wife. I am somebody's wife. It hasn't happened yet in the natural, but I am somebody's wife. I embody that identity. And then I do little things like this picture here of me in a hat that says wifey. Now, I don't wear that around because when I do come across him, I don't want him to actually think I'm married. But embodying the spirit of being a wife before you are will draw him in, and preparing that place emotionally, spiritually, physically, financially, in all the ways in your life, every aspect of your life, not flirting with a million guys or going on a million dates that mean nothing. Embody being a wife and then wait in faith, like this says in Habakkuk 2 and 3. Write it down, write your vision, review it, believe it, and just know that if you have to wait for it, it's gonna come. It will surely come, it says. I decided to cut this into 2 parts because they were too long. I talked a lot today. So there's a part 1 and a part 2 of this love video. So if you have not watched the other part, watch for it. And I will link it up in the show notes, the description box, so that you can watch all of it and not miss any of it. Thank you so much for being here. I love that you're here to share in our fireside. There's no fire. There is fire right back there. Our fireside sisterhood, heart to heart talks about real life and love and growth and hope and things we've been through. I would love to hear from you in the comments. I would love if you would subscribe to my channel so that we can continue moving forward. Thank you so much for being here. Always remember you are loved. Go out, be a blessing, and rise into your radiance. Much love. Bye.